Some reflections on the Next10X conference. I had the opportunity to address the conference yesterday in Boston, and what a terrific event. Stone Temple Consulting really put on a terrific show. Some amazing speakers. We saw, of course, Ann Handley, Rand Fishkin, and we saw Larry Kim there, and a bunch of other really good folks. Some, also really interesting, two presenters from the two leading smart speakers companies. So Emily from Amazon, the Alexa division there, and gosh, I can't remember her name, but her Twitter handle's typewriters from Google, getting to hear about each of the smart speaker platforms. But the real goods actually came from both Rand and Eric Enge, the CEO of Stone Temple. And three or four things I think stood out that are worth paying attention to, worth thinking about in our marketing. One thing which we had found out a while ago and is only continued to be reinforced with the data that we all have as an industry is social media metrics are not in any way search metrics. And there's no correlation between the two. These two buckets of metrics they don't even dine at separate tables, they dine at separate restaurants. And so if you're trying to use one to predict or calibrate on another, it's not going to give you the results you want. In some of the software I run, we have search metrics, social media metrics, then click-through metrics. And in a lot of cases, they're all different. The click-through metrics more closely relate to search, but not by much. It's not like saying, oh, if this, then absolutely do that. All the correlations are very weak, or non-existent, or statistically insignificant. So be aware of that. One point that Eric and Rand both brought up, which I thought was really insightful, was that think about what metrics the social networks are no longer sharing, right? So we saw Twitter took away its tweet shares a couple years ago. LinkedIn just removed theirs this past February. And the premise behind this, the expression was, if the social networks themselves don't value these metrics and they're not giving them to us, maybe we shouldn't either. And I think that's a really important point. If you want to measure social media and the impact of social media, one probably more effective way to do that would be to focus on what you see in your web analytics and your marketing automation, etc., where the results actually begin to come through. So it may be great to get a lot of awareness and brand and reputation, but those social metrics by themselves are not enough, especially as social platforms, particularly Facebook, switch over to much more of an AI-based algorithm. They've always had AI, but now it's getting really, really complex. And so because of the way deep learning works, there's no way for us to be able to reverse engineer easily what their own AI has come up with as valuable. And because it's deep learning, because it's constantly retraining itself over time, what may be happening this week, what's working this week, is not what's going to work next week or the week after, because the algorithm changes and learns as we provide it more data. So that's one aspect. Focus on what's driving traffic rather than the vanity metrics or even the social engagement metrics as a more reliable proxy. And also because, think about it this way, it's an apples to apples comparison, right? Your Google Analytics data and what people do once they come to your site should be relatively stable in terms of what's working, what's not, once they get there, because I'm guessing you're probably not rewriting every page on your website every single day. So keep that in mind. The other thing that was really important is, while the presenters talked a lot about intent-based SEO, making sure that your content on your page fulfills the intent of a search, not just the keyword, which is insightful. There's a bigger picture at work here. Again, as artificial intelligence calibrates and learns what we as people, as customers and consumers want, it's going to optimize for us. It's going to optimize for our behaviors. And so that means that intent matters not just for SEO, But for social, for referral traffic, for any form of digital marketing, for any form of marketing period, that intent is what matters. And the more you use AI and machine learning in any given channel, the more that intent is going to matter, because the machines will be optimizing for our intent, not for our narrow query. Think about, for example, we've been talking a lot about influencer analytics. What is our intent for that influencer's outcome? Is it brand? Is it reputation? Is it recommendation? Is it connection? We're going to need to use different analytics and different algorithms and different tools and concepts to generate each of these outcomes. And the best and smartest influencers and vendors and companies will have separate methodologies for each of these possible outcomes, because the intent has to be measured and managed differently. So give that some thought as well. Intent is what AI is optimizing for across these channels, which means that intent is what we have to be very focused on in all of our marketing. Next10X was a terrific event. Would definitely recommend you go and attend it when it comes around this time next year. Sign up for it when it becomes available, and lots and lots of good stuff, and definitely follow all the folks that were presenting. There's a tweet floating around of all the folks who were speaking yesterday. A lot of good stuff to share. So, as always, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.